Hello learners, today's title would be the management of educational change. Now when it comes to management of educational change, as a matter of fact, educational change would play a very much of a pivotal role in our educational system. As such, we must focus too much on that when it comes to the learning as well as teaching of the same to our students. As such, especially there are four pillars of learning that we would consider when it comes to educational change, simply because of the fact that quite rudimentarily there should be some attitudinal change when it comes to educational transformation or educational teaching, educational change and the like. As such, the attitudinality would play a very much of a ground rule when it comes to the real practicum of any form of an educational or other educational system. As such, I'm going to speak a few words about four elements or rather four pillars of learning. The first one will be learning to know. Now, when we are in a process of learning or educational system, there should be a very much of a strong background, a strong framework in order to make the knowing process very much enlightening. Knowing in the sense is not just the knowing of the knowledge or rather having the knowledge alone. It would not suffice in order to know the knowledge itself. Rather, besides having to know the knowledge, there should be some change inside of the learner. There should be a corresponding change. For instance, if a learner is learning about peace building or reconciliation or even religious studies, there should be some corresponding transformational change within that particular, within inside of that particular person or rather the learner. That has to be there, and that is the real knowing of it. The real knowing, that particular knowing has to correspond with a transformational impactfulness within inside of that particular learner as well. That is the first part of it. Now the second aspect would be that learning to do. Now having known the subject, there should be some application as well. We should be able to apply to our external world. Now the very first part would be corresponding with our emotional intelligence. Now we have already learned about multiple intelligence theory when it comes to educational theory, which is multiple intelligence theory in pertinence with educational contextualization. So it as such, besides this emotional intelligence, there should be some practicalization of our learned theories or learn aspects into our real or into our external world. That can also be a part and parcel of our social intelligence. Now, when it comes to social intelligence, we are interacting with our external world. As a learner, we should be able to externalize ourselves in terms of our communication. Now, in which whatever that we learn, quite rather, that should be able to be quite indeed. We must be able to apply it in our realistic outside world. That is the doing, the learning to do. Even skills would come under the part and parcel of this lay or this state of learning to do. We should be able to do, having known the subject. And quite thirdly, we can also find the fact that learning to live together. Now, having all these two steps being completed, there should be some coexistence, coherent living together or playing the proper role on our context. The real society should also be taken into account. That is to live together. As a learner or a group of learners, a system of learners, the students must be able to co-live or coexist together in terms of their learning. They must be able to obey, the respect, or even practicalize what they learn in terms of their day-to-day lives, having known the aforementioned two elements above. That is the real part of living together. Now, quite moreover, we can also find learning to be. Having engrossed with, having engendered all three layers, they must be able to achieve some positional level in their topmost hierarchy. Now that has to be there. That's very much significant as a part of the learning process. Now when there is a learning process, there should be some ascendancy so that they can be able to reach out to the place in a positive manner. And that being said, we should be able to all in all put all these four up so that any learner, any system of learner, any crowd of learners be able to lay out, can be able to go ahead in terms of their holistic positive process in order to bring forth a positive transformation in the educational system. All being taken into account, we must be able to implement. We must be able to implement all these layers of these four pillars of education in a positive manner, in a good ambience, so that scientific transformation in education be able to take place, incorporating our social intelligence, emotional intelligence, as well as other intelligence as well. Now, those intelligence elements would come under the purview of multiple intelligence theory. As such, that will be very much positive to the time being. Thanks so much for your time.